Hi guys, this is Steven here, and today I want to talk about the Wii U. In my mind, the Wii U has received a lot of injustice in the past year, in the recent months. A lot of times when you look at mainstream media, they won't even mention it when they talk about this generation's consoles and when they talk about the PS4 and Xbox One. Even when a game is going to be released also on the Wii U, they barely talk about the Wii U version. Even Jared, when he did his top games of 2013, even forgot to talk about the Wii U. So just to give you an example, everybody seems to dismiss it or do not even realize that it exists. And I think it's a great injustice because in my mind the Wii U is actually a fantastic system, and I'm here to explain why in this video. But before I start, I have to talk about 3 points that I cannot deny. The first thing that I want to talk about is the Wii U's launch window. And many people nowadays think that the Wii U doesn't have many games or doesn't have any games. And the myth about this is that that might have been true for the first 6 months of the system. I cannot deny that the Wii U had a horrible launch and it didn't have any games coming out for it for a long time after it was released. So because of that, still today people think that the Wii U doesn't have any games, and that's far from the truth. It's simply because of what happened when it started. Secondly, the Wii U sales are horrible. There's no denying it, and unless there's a miracle happening, which everyone doubts, it's gonna be known as the Nintendo's worst selling home console of all time. That's a fact, but even though its sales are extremely low, that doesn't mean anything for the quality of the system. If you take a look at the GameCube is probably my favorite Nintendo home console of all time, and it sold very poorly. It was the worst selling console of its generation, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't an amazing console and didn't have any good games. It still was fantastic if you thought about it. So, and when you look at the Wii sold extremely well, dominated the past generation, and in my mind is one of the worst Nintendo home console of all time. So if you take a look at sales don't tell the whole story, and that's really all I wanted to bring out with this point. And my last point is third-party support. If you're not a huge Nintendo fan, I wouldn't suggest the Wii U as your only console, simply because third-party support is basically dead. There's not much third-party support that's announced for 2014 or 2015 or in the upcoming future. So basically, if you're a big fan of third-party games, like most people are, well, the Wii U is not the system for you. That's clear. I won't deny that. That's also a fact. There's still a lot of third-party games on the Wii U right now. There's a lot of great games on there. It's just that in the coming future, there won't be that much. That being said, here's a few reasons rather why I think the Wii U is an amazing console. Number one, and that's something people don't talk about very much, is it's the only console right now that allows you to play games from the previous generation. If you look at the Xbox One, the only games you can play is Xbox One games. PS4, same thing. So you have no luck. You basically need to keep your PlayStation 3 or your Xbox 360 plugged in if you want to play past generation games. With the Wii, you don't need to worry about that. It's fully compatible with Wii games, and that's just awesome. Not only that, but one of the first things I noticed when I plugged in my Xbox One was that I was under the assumption that all my previous digital content would transfer over, but that's not the case. With the Wii U, it is. Just you need to do a simple transfer, well, simple, it's not that simple, but you can transfer all your data from the Wii to your Wii U, and all your previous purchases can be played on your Wii U. Sure, you'll need to go into Wii mode, but it's still there. So that's a pretty considerable advantage in my book that nobody seems to talk about, and everybody seems to to forget simply because, well, it's the Wii U, and it seems like the popular thing right now to only talk about negative stuff when you talk about the Wii U. Secondly, my other point is the Virtual Console. This was a success story for the original Wii, and it's just improved so much with the Wii U. You can now play, because the Wii U is an HD system, you can play all of these games in HD. You can also play them on your Wii U gamepad, so if somebody wants to use a TV, there's no problem, just play them on your gamepad. And the added addition of Miiverse, which is another plus for the Wii U, is just simply fantastic. You can now play all your retro favorite games and share them with your friends and just discuss them, and even post screenshots of your favorite parts of the game while you're playing the game. And if you're stuck, let's say you download a new game you haven't played before, a new classic game I mean, well, you can just post on Miiverse, and usually within minutes you get an answer. So it's a fantastic community that just adds so much more to the Wii U in my mind than other systems. Sure, there's access to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games and the PlayStation 4 and stuff like that, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. But the huge library of games from all the classic Nintendo games, Nintendo systems rather, from the Nintendo, from the Super Nintendo and all that, are all available on the Wii U. A lot of it you'll have to go in Wii mode, unfortunately, because the Wii U doesn't have as many titles right now, but you still can access them. So let's say you skipped out on the Wii, every single Virtual Console game from the Wii, you can download them on your Wii U. So that's a big plus. I'm a big retro fan, and being able to play tons and tons of classic games on a system is just a huge plus for me. A lot of my gameplay time has been spent playing classic games, and I've discovered gems like Ghosts and Goblins and Super Ghouls and Ghosts that I never would have if I wouldn't have bought a Wii U. So in my mind, that's a huge plus. And lastly, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the huge library of games already available for the Wii U. I already own more than 17 games on that system, and I've bought it not even a year ago, so that's just to show you how many games right now there are for it. And that doesn't even count, like I said, the Virtual Console games and the eShop content, like new Super Luigi U or games like Giana Sisters and stuff like that. So there's tons and tons of games. And there's even some games that are AAA titles that simply cannot be missed in my mind. Games like Rayman Legends, which are simply fantastic. Sure, you can play it on another console, but if you would choose to pick the Wii U as your only console, you would have access to one of the best games of 2013, and the definitive version is definitely on the Wii U. There's also new Super Mario Bros. U, which is one of the best titles in the Super Mario Bros. Series. Definitely the best out of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, that it's only available on the Wii U, and being able to finally play this series in HD cannot be passed. There's games like Injustice: Gods Among Us, which is another fantastic game that's available on the Wii U that you simply must have in my book. The Wii U also has a lot of many other great titles like Pikmin 3, The Wonderful 101. There's even Zelda Wind Waker HD, which is a classic game now remade for the Wii U. So all these reasons really make the Wii U one of the best systems out there right now. Sure, it might not have the best looking future, it might not live that long, but hey, for those of you that haven't bought one yet, can probably find one for pretty cheap, and even the games are going for pretty inexpensive prices. So for all the reasons I mentioned in this video, I really think that the Wii U is the best available console right now. And you might not agree with me, right? You might not agree with me, pardon, and that's okay, but seriously, for my money, I think the Wii U is the best system available, and I'm pretty glad to have one. If you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan like me, you just can't live without it. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.